We live. Need to make a theme song for the AlleyHTseries. Make a theme song. I need to make a theme song for AlleyHTseries. Hey. I got more lemon water because I'm still trying to get rid of this. And I just took some of my black seed oil. What's good, y'all? Back at it again. Motivation Mondays. We in here. AlleyHTseries. We're talking about visualization today. Visualization. And it's like the energy is so funny. It just energy and purpose and dreams. It's just funny how today I'm talking about this. And I will say that because in the morning, probably at like 4 a.m., I wrote whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, right? I just find that so interesting because I haven't even been keeping up with my calendar for the series because I'm just working on the juicing business and trying to get over this cold and cleaning the house. I have family here, and energy is just wild. Like, it's just wild that I felt like I needed that in my life. And I wrote it down. And then we're actually talking about visualization. And I was looking at a couple articles trying to figure out which one I'm actually going to read. And all of them stated that quote. I'm like, about today. But I think I found which one. And I'm going to put all the links. This time I'm actually going to update today on the YouTube. Excuse me. So Motivation Mondays, we're talking about visualization. I'm going to read an article from Psychology. I really like how this one had like studies in it, like more studies, but the Forbes was really good because it kind of gives you an idea on how to use and take advantage of visualization. But I'm going to read I guess I closed it out. There we go. Oh, there we go. I'm going to read. There we go. I just put it out. Okay. So this is from Psychology Today. This is actually from 2009. 2009. The Forbes one was actually from last year. So I'm going to read this one because I thought it was interesting. Despite the great cases for getting off our Despite the great case for getting off our dust, there are some amazingly cool and effective practices we can do from the comfort of our own recliners, without even budging a finger. For instance, you could practice your golf swing, work out your muscles, prepare to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, hone on your chess skills. I don't know if you've seen the Queen Gambit or whatever that is, and the girl was just like in her mind, like visualizing the moves and practicing. It's kind of funny. Practice for tomorrow's surgery, and you can even prepare for your best life. Mental practice can get you closer to where you want to be in life, and it can prepare you for success. For instance, Nathan Sharansky, a computer specialist who spent 9 years in prison in the USSR after being accused of spying for US, has a lot of experience with mental practices. While in solitary confinement, he played himself in mental chess, saying, "I might as well use the opportunity to become the world champion." Remarkably, in 1996, Sharansky world championship Gary Kasparov. Wow. A study looking at brain patterns in weightlifters found that patterns activated when a weightlifter lifted hundreds of pounds were similarly activated when they only imagined lifting. In some cases, research has revealed that mental practices are almost effective as true physical practice. For instance, in his study on everyday people, Guang Yi, an exercise psychologist from Cleveland Clinic Foundation in Ohio, compared results of those who did physical exercises to the results of those who carried out virtual workouts in their head. In the physical exercise group, finger abduction strength increased by 53%. In the group that did mental contractions, their finger abduction strength increased by 35%. However, the greatest gain, 40%, was not achieved until 4 weeks after the training had ended. Ranganathan et al., 2004. This demonstrates the mind's incredible power over the body and its muscles. Noted as one form of mental rehearsal, visualization has been popular since the Soviets started using it back in the 1970s to compete in sports. Now, many athletes employ this technique, including Tiger Woods, who has been using it since his preteen years. Seasoned athletes use vivid, highly detailed internal images and run-throughs of the entire performance, engaging all their senses in their mental rehearsal. And they combine their knowledge of the sports venue with the mental rehearsal. World champion golfer Jack Nicklaus has said, "I never hit a shot, not even in practice, without having a very sharp and focused picture of it in my head." Even heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali used different mental practices to enhance his performance in the ring, such as affirmation, visualization, mental rehearsal, self-confirmation, and perhaps the most powerful epigram of personal worth ever uttered, "I am the greatest." It's funny because I was playing basketball this weekend and I just kept I consistently was missing in the same spots. And now I'm like, what if I just visualized actually making it before shooting? And I believe it was, I have to look, but I have oh damn, I'm using my phone. I have a Audible that I listened to. I think it was Blake Shelton, and he said he does the same things, like the visualizing, I believe, because it's not the first time I've heard this when he's practicing and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Brain studies now reveal that thoughts produce the same mental instructions as actions. Mental imagery impacts many cognitive processes in the brain: motor control, attention, perception, planning, and memory. So the brain is getting trained for actual performance during visualization. It's been found that mental practices can enhance motivation, increase confidence and self-efficacy, improve motor performance, prime your brain for success, and increase states of flow, all relevant to achieving your best life. For someone like Matthew Nagel, who is paralyzed in all four limbs, mental practices have transformed his entire way of life. Matthew had a silicone chip implanted in brain. Astonishingly, after just 4 days of mental practice, he can move a computer cursor on a screen, open email, play a computer game, and control a robotic arm. While our circumstances may be less stringent than most that Matthew endures, it's quite obvious that every person can benefit from practices. So if athletes and chess players use this technique to enhance performance, how can it enhance the lives of the average Joe? First, study results highlight the strength of the mind-body connection, or in other words, the link between thoughts and behaviors, a very important connection for achieving your best life. While your future may not include achieving a great physique or becoming the heavyweight champ, or winning the Masters tournament, mental practice has a lot to offer you. Try it here. Begin by establishing a highly specific goal. Imagine the future. You have already achieved your goal. Hold a mental picture of it as if it were occurring to you right at that moment. Imagine the scene in as much detail as possible. Engage as many of the 5 senses as you can in your visualization. Who are you with? Which emotions are you feeling right now? What are you wearing? Is there a smell in the air? What do you hear? What is your environment? Sit with a straight spine when you do this. Practice at night or in the morning, just before or after sleep. Eliminate any doubts. If they come to you, repeat this practice often. Combined with meditation or affirmation, or to borrow from Ali, I am the greatest. That was pretty good. That was pretty good information. I wish they would talk about stuff like this on the news. All we wouldn't talk about is coronavirus. So that is visualization. So my personal opinion or my thoughts that, for instance, here in Dominican Republic, we are, really, YouTube? Okay, here. For instance, here in Dominican Republic, there's not a lot of people dying from coronavirus. There's a lot of people getting sick, but my personal opinion, there's no proof that I've seen of this, but it's just what I'm thinking in my brain, that the people who watch the news are more likely to get sick than the people who don't watch the news. And this is where visualization can come hand in hand. And like I said, there's no proven studies. This is just me and in my mind, right? So here, there's not a lot of people dying from the virus, but there are people getting sick and whatnot, and a lot of people are worried, and the vaccine has arrived. A lot of people are excited in getting it. But I imagine that if we're all told, and then we see, like they had to do in the news, they put fake instances, like fake mannequins on beds, making us believe and see that there's a virus attacking us, right? We saw the Asian people and how they were, whatever, but how they were just randomly passing out, like on the floor, just like we saw pictures of them, like, and that was from the virus. So in our heads, we think that that's what this virus is going to do, make us just pass out randomly on the floor. And then we saw the mannequins in the hospital of people dying or being sick of the virus. So it was definitely a mental prep for us to receive the virus, whether it was in the air or whether it was put in the test or whatever it may be. But for some reason here in DR, and I talk to a lot of people and I've met a lot of people, I've not one person I know has met anyone who has died from this virus. People who've gotten the virus, yes, and who've gotten sick, yes, but not anybody who's actually died of it, that we know of personally. But we do have heard and we've seen on the news that a lot of people have died, and they're just throwing the bodies pretty much anywhere, not even doing proper burials and stuff like that. But when it comes to the power of visualization, if you go to the doctor and you don't even have cancer and they tell you that you have cancer, you're going to visualize and believe that you have cancer, and eventually that cancer will arrive, because that is the power that we have with our minds. We can create our body to do anything that we want it to do, even that we don't want it to do, but we're thinking about it and visualize it so much that that's our just body responding to our powers. And once again, this is just my opinion. So the power of visualization, imagine if the news changed and it wasn't about putting fear into people and making people think that we're sick. Imagine if the news was saying things like, we have an abundance of food. We have an abundance of vitamins and minerals that help us heal. We have what are you guys doing? We have abundance of money and jobs available. Or just think about it. If the news was actually saying the Black community is healed and their businesses are rising. Even if it wasn't true, if we talked about it, it will eventually come to pass, because now we have hundreds and thousands of people believing the same thing. And even in the Bible says, when two or more, or however it says it, have the same mindset or are agreeing on the same thing, that it's going to come to pass. So just the power of visualization, you know what I mean? I'm using my personal power of visualization here in Dominican Republic, which is why I'm doing the Speak Life, to visualize that there's going to be juice businesses, that I'm going to start a chain of juice businesses where people can constantly detox and have access to detoxing and cleansing their bodies. I'm visualizing that there's going to be natural toothpaste, even if I have to create it myself, fluoride-free toothpaste, because in Santiago there is not. I did go to the capital and I did see it, but it is very expensive for those toothpastes without the fluoride. Like, I paid over $10 for a toothpaste. And I really like it though. But the toothpaste that I'm making that is just as efficient, like I could sell it for $3, and people will have less problems with their thyroids and less problems with their teeth and whiter teeth. I'm visualizing that in the park that we're going to be able to have breathing sessions and meditation sessions, and I'm picturing that our schools are going to have farms, and I'm picturing that our schools are going to have the meditation practices and breathing practices taught in it. I'm using my visualization for what I want to see. Like, the coronavirus or the COVID-19 is not even in my visualization, because in my head, I know what viruses and bacteria and parasites are, and I know how to get rid of them. And viruses are the root of all diseases. So if you know a little bit more about those things, it's easier for you to visualize something different. Fucking cat. So that's just my personal opinion of what I believe, and how the power of visualization has affected us and how it can affect us. But personally, that's why you don't really see too much good on the news, because then a lot of things would change and a lot of money won't be able to be made. A lot of medicine won't be able to be passed out. Payment plans on medicine, a lot of surgeries, like more and more, they're taking out people's thyroids, and they're just taking out gallbladders, and who knows what else they're going to start taking, body parts they're going to start taking out. But that's why I'm doing this series, because I'm visualizing that eventually that these videos are going to catch on, and it's going to inspire somebody, and somebody is going to change, and they're going to do a web series, or they're going to do something. I'm visualizing that this web series is eventually going to be on Netflix, and of course it might be a lot cooler and beautiful, and theme song and all of that, but I'm using my power of visualization to hopefully assist the change in the world, to be a better place, happier for our kids and our future kids, and less dying and less drama and less killing and all that stuff. So I want to encourage you to explore the power of visualization. If you do not have a vision board yet, super key to seeing your dreams come true. So I'll read this last part because it had the quote in it. Is this a vision board? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, visualization is the act of visualizing something or someone or forming a picture of it in your mind. It's almost like looking through a particular lens. Your unconsciousness, your imagination, deepest desires, and seeing your life unfold within your inner eye. Visualization in sports. Visualization has been used for a very long time in sports. Muhammad Ali's favorite quote, as well as mine: "If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it." Already shows that he truly believed in the power of visualization, but he's not the only one who used visualization in his successful sports career. Arnold Schwarzenegger was also a big believer in visualizing how he wanted to look like and kept on imagining it. Later on, he used the same technique in politics and acting. A study published in Neuropsychology found that imagining to move certain parts of your arm trains the muscles as much as the actual movement. Our mind is literally very powerful. Of course, Oprah Winfrey said, "Anything you can imagine, you can create." Oh my God, I just saw this video not too long ago too. You can't really argue with Oprah, can you? And it's not only her who believes in the power of affirmations and visualization. This video has been going on. Jim Carrey apparently I'm sorry. Jim Carrey apparently wrote a check of over 10 million to himself every night during the time when he wasn't famous yet. It so happened, but it's not every night during the time. He said he put it in his wallet and he gave himself like a 3 to 5 year window. And it so happened that 3 years later, he received exactly this amount for starring in Dumb and Dumber. But he put it in his wallet. He wrote himself the check, gave himself that time limit. Let me see. Visualization, also called imagery, can not only help you reach financial goals, it is used among healthcare professionals as an effective stress management tool. Studies have shown that novice surgeons who received imagery training demonstrated reduced self-reported stress and decreased objective stress. The same goes for police officers. You clearly see that visualization works for all groups of people in all kinds of situations. Helps you achieve your goals, to imagine your future, to deal with stress, and much more. So how do you do it in real life? How can you tap into the power of visualization and enjoy all of its benefits? Generally speaking, you need to imagine the specific situation in many details as possible using all your senses. You can see it, smell it, hear it, feel it, and taste it. This one is from Forbes. For many people, it helps when they close their eyes, and then there are others prefer to write it down instead of doing it purely in their mind. As there's no visualization button yet on our head, there are different techniques and ways of getting easier into the visualization mood. Meditation is one of them, and if you are new to it and you are looking for a guided meditation, try the 6-phase meditation by Vishen Lakhiani. It's extremely powerful and will guide you through different phases where you will, among others, imagine your future self in all details. Writing daily affirmations help your mind as well get into the future mode. When you write affirmations, write in present tense, and be careful not to write too many. Start with I, followed by something that you wish you had accomplished already or how you want to be in the future. I am strong and face all adversities with grace. I have a publishing empire with 100 employees and 5 offices worldwide. Like with meditation, try to be specific as possible. The trick behind it is that our brain cannot differentiate between what is already true and what is fiction. Hence, your brain will think that you already own that publishing empire and you'll start acting accordingly unconsciously. If you add a little bit of embodiment to it and think of a posture that incorporates a specific affirmation very well, your body will also save it. And the more often you do it, the quicker you'll be able to get to your mindset of your future self. Another way of visualizing your future is to create a vision board. And let me introduce you to a remarkable person. You'll find more details about it. In short, you take a blank poster and fill it with snippets and pictures from magazines that represent what you want your life to look like in a certain amount of time. It could be 6 months, 3 years, or more. It's important to put the finished vision board in a prominent place in your office or apartment so that you are regularly reminded of it. As you can see, it's about visualizing your mind on paper or blank canvas. Approach it with a curious and open mind and try out different options that you find out what works best for you. One of its biggest advantages is that you can literally do it everywhere, on the train, at home, at work. Your mind is truly powerful, so keep exploring and create the life you want with the help of visualization. I don't have a vision board like with photos. I have more of just a piece of paper of what I want in my life. And I need to work on the photo. I would prefer the photo like right when I wake up just to see it. But I have my notebook over there. And it has exactly my goals that I wrote in August when I started the mastermind, the www.martyrsmastermind.com with the Blackout Coalition, where he just kind of helped me figure out my gifts and just motivated me to get through that process. And now I'm here, and a lot more is about to happen. So I wrote down actually what I wanted, or what my job occupation was and how much I was making. And with 45 weeks later, through this book that we're reading, I put the job that I wanted and how much I'm going to make. And so far, I'm almost doing that job, like being a health coach and entertainer. But right now, I don't quite have an income, but I'm working on it. I thought I ordered the juicer, and then I realized that the shipping company that I was using, that particular product, cannot ship. So maybe I would just have to buy a more expensive one that is able to ship. But we'll see what happens. But I'm visualizing my juicing businesses. I'm visualizing I'm visualizing the toothpaste. I'm visualizing a bowling alley and a hotel that I want to have here, where I'm teaching people actually everything in these series, but I teach it to you in person, hand on, and for at least a week or a couple days. We'll make the juices together. We'll meditate together, pick the garden together, plant stuff, go to the beach together, whatever, work on vision board. I have a lot of awesome ideas. But that's all for today. Motivation Monday. Visualize your life. Change your thoughts. Change your destiny. Change your life. Change your attitude. All that. Visualization is a super powerful tool, and I encourage you to start visualizing the life that you like. It is not impossible. You do deserve it. Don't think that you don't deserve it because of this or because of that. You do deserve it. You have life, and your purpose is to live. That is it. If you feel like you have a deeper purpose, like I feel like since I got sick and I was able to be healed, I do feel like, one of my purposes is to share that knowledge of how I got to heal. And of course, we're all still healing, and we're growing as people, and viruses are coming, and this is coming, and shit happens. So I'm always going to be continuing learning to heal, but I would love to share with other people who are struggling or were in the same spot as I am, just looking for answers and spending all this money looking for answers and here and there. I would hope that I can just break it all down in one area, and you can just try to look here, or at least I have a bunch of resources for you to be able to check out to see if they work for you. And yeah, I don't know, that lesson was like powerful, super powerful. So once again, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Acceptance, peace. God is love, and there's no man-made medicine more powerful than time, love, and apparently wild berries. I love you so much. We'll see you tomorrow with the morning breathing session. And then let's see what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, Troublemaker Tuesdays, we're going to be talking about plastics. Oh, great. And with my juicing company, I don't want to use plastic bottles, but I feel like I almost right now I have to just to get started. But we'll see. We'll see. I love you guys so much. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a beautiful night.